Dave. We really appreciate you doing that and setting it up for us. So, without further ado, we'll get going into this. So, welcome everybody. If you're just tuning in and you're just joining us, welcome to our second edition of Recreation Conversations. We're going to be doing this about once a month, generally around topics relating to campus recreation, video games, sports, anything that you can kind of really think of that involves getting active and living in healthier lifestyles. And so we've got a lot of really good content for you all today. We've got a panel of some really highly qualified individuals and some really good employees with Campus Rec, some full-time staff members, and some students as well to give you some unique perspectives on what's going on in the outdoor recreation field today. So my name is Jordan Morgan. I work in facility operations and marketing, and I will let the rest of the panelists introduce themselves, starting with Allison.
Hi, I'm a junior at MSU. I work at Campus Recreation in the marketing team, so that means I help Jordan do all the stuff he can't get to.
Adam, you want to go next?
My name is Adam. I'm a junior at MSU Denver, and I'm a student staff at Outdoor Pursuits.
All right. And I'm Brian, and thank you, Jordan, for putting this together. We do appreciate it. Everybody have a good afternoon.
Absolutely. It's Friday.
Hi, everyone. I'm Cassidy. I'm a sophomore junior at MSU. I don't know quite,
Who really does know, right?
Yeah.
And we'll pull our last one in.
I'm Elizabeth. I'm a junior at MSU, and I am also student staff at OP.
Nice. So a lot of outdoor pursuits individuals here, a lot of students who've had some experience in outdoor rec and so forth. And without further ado, I kind of just wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things kind of going on in the outdoor world right now. And I mean, I went on a hike last week at Beaverbrook Trail and Chavez Loop. It's just kind of outside Evergreen right there. And I was really surprised to see how many people actually were out there and kind of going around. It's a nice little hike, just about maybe 15-20 minutes out from Denver. It's one of my personal favorite ones, but it was great to kind of be out and active and see a lot of people actually being out and active too. So I kind of wanted to see, do y'all have any hikes or any specific ones that y'all have any that you can kind of play favorites to?
I went to St. Mary's Glacier outside of Idaho Springs. It's right before you get into Idaho Springs. And I loved it. They talked a lot about how busy it was and things. And I kind of went late on a Thursday, and it was super nice. It was super cool. We watched people jump into water, which I don't understand how because it was freezing. But it was super cool. And we got to see a lot of the fish jump out of the water and try to get some of the bugs that were on the top of the water. It was really funny because they flopped on their side and splashed in. But it's not too hard. There's two different ways up. There's an easier side that follows the river, and then there's a higher intensity slide. The trail is rocks though, so be careful with that.
Which I gotta ask, which route did you take up?
I took the higher inclined side.
There you
I didn't
go.
know you could go by the river until I saw somebody else do it. So we just went up the higher inclined side. It was me and my boyfriend, and yeah. Oh, also bring cash. You have to pay $5 for parking.
Yeah, some of those trails you have to have specific memberships. Not memberships. It's like a pass. You have to have an All Trails pass or something like that. I want to open it up to anyone else too. Elizabeth, do you have any places you like to go on or any hikes around the areas that you're preferenced at?
Well, so my favorite, just quick, easy, if you're haven't planned anything super far ahead and you just want to go out for the hike for the day, I love Castlewood Canyon State Park. If you're in Parker, you're 15 minutes away. It's just straight south of Parker. There's easy stuff. There's hard stuff. There's a creek. There's a little bit of climbing there for people who climb. And it's dog friendly, which is great for me.
Nice. Are you a climber?
Yes.
Yeah? That's right. You did send us a video. We do have a couple of videos and stuff of you climbing and doing those specific things. I know climbing. Gosh, I am not a climber. I try, but I got these, my arms get too sore. And then people always tell me you're not even supposed to climb with your arms. It's supposed to be like a leg-based kind of thing.
It is way more legs than people think it is. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I don't have the hand-eye coordination to do it, or the fear of heights. That doesn't help either.
Takes a lot of time and dedication to get good at it.
I was gonna say Brian's a pretty good climber. He's got some experience in that.
I've got some experience, that's for sure.
That's definitely not a shout out to the age, but I do know that I've asked a few questions, and he's Brian is in charge of our outdoor pursuits areas, and he monitors our climbing wall and so forth, and I've seen him teach and do a lot of specific things with the climbing wall. So yeah, there's a little climbing wall plugin we got there. Adam, I know we haven't even reached out to you yet, man. You're kind of just up over there in the just chilling there. Do you have any hikes or anything specific that you like to go on or do things in Colorado?
Yeah, one of my recent favorites, I haven't been to Roxborough in forever, and I popped down there over the summer. It was super busy, so definitely got to be aware of that. But once you get in there, I mean, it's totally worth the wait, and you're able to kind of space it out, and it's gorgeous. Really nice hike. I think it's about $5 or $7 to get in, so nothing too crazy, but definitely worth the view.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've had these conversations about hikes and going outdoors, and I think we all kind of miss being out and living in the great state of Colorado. This is a really interesting time to kind of go out with trying to social distance and making sure that we're respecting things and kind of laws or areas of the pandemic and making sure that we're not spreading the virus, but at the same time making sure that we're being active and living healthy lifestyles. And with the fires as well too, there's been a lot of widespread, and so today this is really kind of what we want to discuss, and we really want to make sure that all of our viewers and everyone listening is paying attention to either some of the 10 essentials that we're going to talk about today when you do go out, maybe even how to put out a specific fire so that specific things don't happen, or maybe not to do a gender reveal party or something like that inside wilderness. And so Brian or maybe even Adam, whoever wants to kind of chime in here, what are kind of your thoughts on just the state of how the outdoor field is going right now with these fires and everything going on?
Well, Jordan, I think you brought up a really good point of be careful. Don't set off fireworks in the wilderness. Don't set off fireworks at all right now. Don't flick cigarette butts out the window. Just be very careful. Be mindful of fire. Be mindful of anything that could throw a spark. And be aware of where fires are going to be. Because I know there's a couple of times this year I've looked at somewhere I want to go for a hike, and you know what? If the winds change, I might get stuck in a fire. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stick somewhere where I feel like it's a little bit safer. So that's kind of my thought with the state, with being, unfortunately on fire right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's really hard. It's difficult when there's a lot of wildfire smoke, and then you don't really want to go on an intensive hike or anything like that. I picked up disc golf over the summer, which is actually a really nice way to get outside. It's not too much of a commitment. There's usually a disc golf course pretty close to wherever you're at in the city, and it's definitely something fun to check out if you want to avoid kind of the health risks of being in the smoke or getting up near the fires.
This is your time to shine right here, by the way. I know I'm digressing, but what's your longest drive?
Not crazy. I'd say maybe a really, really good day.
Yeah. I can't play disc golf because I just end up losing my discs every time. It's not like throwing a Frisbee.
No, it's so difficult.
Yeah. Allison, you look like you're about to say something.
I was going to say, I know Jordan that mentioned, being able to socially distance, things. And a lot of the areas we mentioned includes biking. And biking is such a great way to get outside and do stuff. And I know, Chastity, you do bike stuff. So why don't you tell us about it?
Alrighty. Well, cycling, of course, in Colorado in general is just huge. And a lot of people do it. And a lot of people participate. And well, I just wanted to share some of the importance of, being safe while you're out on your bike. So just some useful tips, real quick, for your personal safety, just making sure that you wear bright colors, that you have lights on your bike if you're riding at night, making sure that, you're visible to cars, because they can't always see you. There are blind spots. And just making sure that, you're being safe in those ways. You can put flags up on the back of your bike. I have an air horn that has a sensor on it. So if cars come behind me, it warns me. It's not too loud. It's pretty quiet. But Just like being safe, making sure that you have a helmet if you are planning to ride, especially if it's bumpy or just any time accidents happen, crashes happen. You just want to make sure that you are safe and can protect your head, especially. So with those things being said, there's also the safety of your bike and making sure that it's properly being taken care of and making sure that you can perform a tire repair if you have to while you're out, because flats happen everywhere. I've had to fix 4 flats on my personal bike 4 times this summer, all of the Denver Public Libraries actually have recently, you can check out a bike repair kit from them, and every single one of the Denver Public Libraries has them. And that way you can quickly fix your tire, and they also have like directions on how to use them, and there's a video that goes along with it. There's a lot that just simple repairs that you can do with those.
Yeah. Hey, Chastity, I don't want to cut you off real quick. I just want to make sure. Hey, Dave, Dave's our control guy. I think we're kind of seeing the Teams chat right now, and rather than the video stream. I just want to make sure that is clear and going up. It looks like we're seeing a different screen on the stream. We'll check with that in a little bit. Okay. I just want to make sure, because I'm not very well versed on bikes. Mm-hmm. Is there any specific bike that you can kind of have like a universal kind of like all-purpose bike that you can kind of ride in a town, but you can also go into the hills with? You can ride on kind of rocky roads and stuff like that, and then you can also, just kind of take it anywhere. Is there like a universal kind of bike that you can use with that? I say a universal bike like that's the correct term, but do you know of any? Because I know certain bikes have really thin wheels, and then certain bikes have like these just like giant, thick monster tire wheels.
Right. And actually, I might hand this one over to Brian a little bit. He might be more knowledgeable on that than I am. I just have a typical, my tires like this is a normal tire, I guess.
Yeah, I'm glad to chime in on that a little bit. There's certainly like options to buy what they often call a hybrid bicycle. And the problem there is that really, if you buy a hybrid, you kind of get neither of the best of either one. So my thought is to go with the higher end, higher use, and if it's a little more work on the streets, but you want a mountain bike with it, go with a mountain bike, and you can ride it on the streets and the trails. If you buy if you buy like a paved trail or a city bike or whatever, it really won't transfer well to mountain biking. So then you get into like needing more than one bike, and many of us have a couple of bikes for different purposes. So like a road bike, and then a fat tire bike, and a mountain bike. But a compromise between all of them is not usually good for any of those applications. But then there's also gravel bikes now are getting popular, and that's a really good option, I think, if you want to do some kind of in between and ride dirt roads, but they'd also ride really well on the street. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. I know I've ridden a bike around Denver a few times, and there's tons of great bike routes, and eventually I'll pull that up and kind of show our viewers of what routes you can kind of take with this. But Chastity, I'll kind of divert back to you. What are some of like your kind of key safety points with riding with a bike? Obviously there's tons and tons of things to do. You mentioned wearing bright colors and so forth, and getting kind of routine checks on your bikes. But do you have any kind of your specific hardcore, like these are your musts if you're going to go riding your bike to make sure that you're adequately safe?
Absolutely. And they're mostly for city riding use, just because I feel like that's where a lot more of the incidents happen with cyclists. Mm-hmm. So there's a couple things that they can do to stay safe. One of them is, if you don't know how to ride, I guess on city streets, you can always just practice. It's safer for people to actually ride on the street than it is for them to ride on a sidewalk. And that's very important to remember. So there are courses that you can take. You can just practice riding in your neighborhood. I know the area of Montbello, that neighborhood, right behind their rec center, they just put in a new skills course so that you can learn how to ride based on like what actual street signs would look like and how to cross the street properly, or how to turn, and making sure that like you're staying, within your line or your lanes, and just going from there. But yeah, I think that's like one of the big things is just practicing and making sure that and if you don't know a route, go on a day that you're not too busy and practice it a few times. And then just making sure that you always have to watch for cars. They're supposed to watch for you, but making sure that you have to watch for vehicles, because your safety is in your hands at that point, and making sure that you're following the same laws that vehicles are. And there's also, if you're in Denver, if you visit the Denver Gov website, there's also a bicycle laws that you can follow that are a little bit different from being a motor vehicle, but they're very similar in some ways, just making sure that you're following the same rules.
So how did you learn how to drive on city streets? Like, what was that adventure like for you?
So I started working with the city of Denver last year, and the first time I ever rode on my bike was going from campus to the Wellington E-Web building, which is about a mile away. It's just right down Colfax. So my first experience with that was, I don't know how to get there. I didn't know downtown very well at all. So what I did was, the first couple times I just walked my bike with me, and then just like did the route myself a few times just to make sure I knew what I was doing. And then I got comfortable riding in the street with cars. And I feel like that was the hardest thing for me, because they're so big and they're heavy, and that's like one of my biggest fears. So just making sure that like I was getting used to it, because I rode the same route every day or walked it every day. And then I just paid attention to other cyclists while I was out too, and like saw what they were doing, and making sure like, I'm still within, like doing the same things and making sure that, I'm staying safe. But before that, I've had no city riding experience at all. So that was a big deal.
That sounds pretty impressive from going from walking it to be like, yeah, I can ride this no problem. Jordan, I see you've pulled up a bike map here. Want to tell us a bit about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So I wish I would have downloaded it a little bit better. I thought when I zoomed in, I could kind of see it. And so I'll kind of try to do my best, but you can kind of see all the specific routes that this is the Denver bike map. You can find this online. And you can find it actually when we do open back up in our OP shop. But you can kind of see that the blue is a specific bike lane that you can go, and all across the city of Denver, you can see all of the blue, all of the bike lanes that the city has, and it's very bike friendly for all of its residents. And kind of like Chastity said, it's a nice way to kind of get active. It's a nice way to kind of get out, and there's a lot of friendly places and routes that you can take to kind of stay active and to kind of go around. And so
actually, Jordan, if you could stay there for 1 second.
Yeah.
If you look a little closer, especially where you're zoomed in at, to where it says the downtown inset. So if you look at the purple lines there, those are actually protected bike lanes. So there's like a row of poles that actually protect the cyclists from vehicles so that they can't get into their lane by accident.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think that's something else that is pretty huge to acknowledge, is that you said that specific bike lanes are actually like you're supposed to ride in there for a bike, and it's safer to actually ride on the street than actually on like the sidewalk or something like that. And I know that I've made that mistake countless times, because you kind of fear for yourself. You want to make sure that you're, nobody wants to get hit by a car, and the fact that you're next to that 1-ton vehicle that could possibly come and hit you, it might not be a ton, I'm not 100% sure, but you want to be sure, you want to be safe. And if you're not comfortable with riding in the street with vehicles, these purple lines right here are really, really key and important. So these are protected bike lanes, like Chastity said, and it's really key and important to know where these are at if you are a bike rider and you want to be safe and not ride in the streets or anything like that. So,
Adam, do you have
go
any
ahead.
experience biking?
I do not have too much experience biking. I've been on the Cherry Creek Trail, like by my house, to ride down to the Parker Farmers Market. But other than that, I don't have too much experience. I was kind of wondering what would be really quickly important for like a driver to know if you're driving a vehicle, like how can I best protect bikers? Like what are some things that I can look out for to make sure you guys are safe?
Absolutely. First and foremost, not be distracted. Distractions are the number one reason why we have so many vehicle crashes a year. And it's 100% preventable.
Yeah.
So making sure that, being aware of your surroundings and making sure that you're not distracted by a phone or your passengers either. And probably two, watching where they're signaling, because if they're showing that they're going to turn and you're ready to turn, they can turn into any of those lanes as well that you're planning on turning into. So just making sure that you're staying a safe distance away from them, and then as well making sure that you know where they're going as well.
Yeah, I think that's really a great thing to pop up, because even if you're not a bike rider, you got to look out, because people are active in Colorado, and it's important to know these bike lanes and not be distracted as well. So we're really emphasizing safety right here and trying to inform people on what to look out for and how to kind of make sure that you're preparing yourself adequately to have the best time and protect those around you. And so that kind of ties into our next conversation, and the final piece of the stream is just really the 10 essentials of kind of being outdoors, going out camping, hiking, running, doing anything, bike riding. And so I'll kind of chime into Liza or Elizabeth for a little bit on this, but can you tell us a little bit of what the 10 essentials are? And then Brian and Adam, you can chime in as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wrote it down because we were talking about the 10 essentials, and I have like my gear that I always bring that just stays in my backpack, but I don't have a specific list that I follow. So I looked through, and there's a couple of different lists depending on which organization you're looking at. And I found one that for the most part, I find agreeable. A few things are a little bit, it's situationally dependent. So I'll give you the list. And this is from the American Hiking Society, in case anybody's curious. That might be a good resource if you want to look up hiking stuff. So the first thing is appropriate footwear. The second thing is map and compass, or some sort of GPS. If you have that on your phone, that works too. Water, and if you're going for a longer hike, also bring some way to purify water, because you're going to run out if you're going out for a couple of days. Food or extra food, snacks, keep yourself, fueled up. Rain gear and extra layers is number 6. Safety items like a flashlight, a whistle, some way to start a fire is number that's number 6. Rain gear is number 5. Number 7 is a first aid kit. 8 is a knife or a multi-tool. 9 is sun protection. 10 is shelter. And then there is an 11th, which I actually really liked, which is why I picked this list specifically, is bring an extra trash bag so you can pick up litter while you hike, which is one of my favorite things to do, because you feel like you did something good and you feel accomplished at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
Like I said, I don't actually carry all of those. I always have appropriate footwear. It's a really good idea, because you're going to hurt your ankle if you don't. And I usually have a hat and water and snacks. That's what I have with me every time I go hike. I have never brought a shelter if I'm not going camping. To be completely honest, I have never had that with me.
I can't imagine somebody riding a bike and they have a tent on their back saying, I don't know, just my bike might break down somewhere here. You never know.
You're prepared for a really bad day if you're doing that.
Yeah. I think one of those things that you said was good is extra, like an extra water supply. Always bring more water than you need. The hike that I went on this past weekend that I said in Evergreen, I only brought 1 bottle of water, because I was like, I'm only just going down, up. I know. I ran out of water halfway down, and I was parched coming back up. So I really, really like that. And I also like the last part that you said with this was, the 11th one and the practicality of specifics that you should bring. And I think all of these essentials, they're really great. They're really key, and they make a lot of sense. But what is the practicality of these, and what should individuals really be concerned? Obviously, if you have these resources and you have these the financial availability to gather these resources, that's great. But what is really practical?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure Brian and Adam would have some thoughts on this too. But I think my big thing is think about the trip that you're going on. If you're going on a quick hike on, a couple of miles, you don't need to go crazy. I would say be more cautious if you're going out further and you're going to be more isolated. If you're going and there's going to be people everywhere that you can ask directions from, and there's going to be a trail map, and there's going to be forest rangers, always be prepared, but you don't have to go crazy and, get a satellite GPS tracking unit or anything like that.
Yeah.
I really like that, the idea of think about what kind of hike you're going to go on, because it also means make sure you're doing your research of where are you going, what's in this area, what are some hazards, what are some things that are good, because if you're just going to go walk by the creek that's by your house, you may not need to bring an entire backpack of stuff. But if you're going to go on an hour hike in the mountains, or when I did the Manitou Incline with my boyfriend, we brought snacks and many water bottles.
All of the snacks, yes.
Every snack.
Fail.
So yeah, I'd like to weigh in a little bit too. And we're going to do quite a bit of exploration of this topic, and in the context of, does it help or does it hurt? Does it help people get involved and go outside to have a list, or does it prevent people from going outside because they can't make the whole list? And then you really realize that people who are experienced and knowledgeable don't carry the whole list. So the term essential may be like we're clinging to this as we do in the outdoors for 50 years or longer. The actual origin of the 10 essentials, we're not sure of. I'm going to look into that too, though. But, if you, I started a list, and I told myself this morning I had to do it off the top of my head without going online. I've been teaching in outdoors for over 25 years, and I've been backpacking, mountaineering, ski mountaineering, and rock climbing and ice climbing for like 9 years, whatever it is. Okay. And I'm like, I don't remember them all. And I'm stumbling over this list. And but I ended up finally with more approaching 20 things. Mm-hmm. If you wanted to take that thought to its kind of natural conclusion, which is you might need all this other stuff, but nobody's carrying even the 10. But I add knowledge and skill, experience, and things like that to the list that are even harder to acquire than the list itself. And then you have the catch-22. How do you get experience if you can't get out? So we want to kind of work toward maybe a new dialogue around the 10 essentials, and what does it say about access to the outdoors, and how can we break that down if it's actually a barrier?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. And I think, Brian, I really want to listen to you on that, because, like you said, you do have tons and tons of years of experience in this, and it's ever changing. I think, you might have more depending on where, you're trying to go, and then what your knowledge is too, your experience in, the field. And over time, maybe if you make mistakes, you want to say, hey, I actually want to bring this next time, and so forth. I really appreciated that input right there. And Adam, I want to kind of add to you, since that's hard to follow up. Liz and Brian both had a lot of really good things, and so no pressure here, but what are your thoughts on that? What's your take?
That's definitely a tough one. I would like to kind of agree with definitely changing your list or altering things depending on what you're doing. When I go hiking versus when I did a week on the Colorado Trail, it was a very different packing list. And I think Brian's right about the 10 essentials kind of hold people back, and they may feel, oh, well, I need to buy this, I need to buy this. But a lot of outdoor experience, I think, is kind of trying things out and seeing how it goes. Obviously, within reason, you need to be safe and you need to have things that, keep you protected. But a lot of it is you're on the trail and you're like, oh, I really wish I would have brought, sunscreen, because now I'm sunburnt and I should have done that. But it's nothing, as long as you have access to water and you have a shelter and a way of contact to get yourself out of a bad situation, I think that you are set up pretty well for whatever you're going to do.
Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
experience is such a big piece of it. Like, it may seem odd, but whenever my family and I head up to the mountains or go hiking, or if I go on like a hike or whatever, I bring sweatpants because there have been multiple times I've worn shorts or even just jeans, and you get that wind. And it's like, I wish I had sweatpants. So now every time I go up, I bring some sort of sweatpants for me to put over my jeans or my shorts.
Conversely, I'll add to that. You should also bring, or yeah, you said bring shorts, because if you do wear long pants and then you are hiking and exerting a lot of energy and burning calories, your body tends to heat up. And as the day goes on, it gets a little warmer. So you may want to put some shorts on so you don't overheat or, completely
Yeah.
sweat yourself out of a water bottle. Yeah. These are really great discussion points and really great conversations. And I mean, I don't think you can fully fit what it truly means to prepare and adequately go outdoors within 30 minutes. But we're going to continue these conversations over the course of the next few months. And we're going to kind of promote right now a couple of programs that will wind down to the end of the stream. I want to give everybody a little bit of time to shout out some of the upcoming events that we do have within campus recreation that either divert from outdoor pursuits and just kind of relate. And so, Allison, if you'd like to go first.
Yeah, we have a Minecraft server. You can join it. You should join it. It's a lot of fun. All you have to do is you join our Discord server. You can find it on the MSU Denver Rec page. We've linked it many times throughout our social medias and things like that. You join there. You talk to one of the admins. We get you in the server, and it will be great fun. So come check it out.
All right, cool. Is it my turn, Jordan?
Yes,
Your
sir.
turn.
All right, I'm going to throw in a little shout out for our OP Online, which is a pandemic-inspired webpage that will provide all kinds of different things to do in the outdoors and experiences to share and that kind of stuff. It's easy to find. I found out it already shows up on the MSU Denver search function. And so OP Online, and then the Alduffer Three Sisters area up there in Evergreen, nearby where you were, I think, Jordan, is pictured, happens to be pictured there. But yeah, so then a bunch of links, including like upcoming legislation, ways to get involved, service projects will be there, that kind of stuff. And then I want to just really quickly click on Place Assets link over here in the left. And this has a list of places that Outdoor Pursuits goes that we recommend as hikes. And this is all in the process of being updated, which we're really excited about. So we're going to visit each one of these and update that information.
That's great information.
Thank you.
That's great information. Chastity, you got something?
Oh, I've got a couple things. First, we have two fitness classes that we teach weekly. I teach weekly. Every Tuesday at 11:30, I have Power Bar. It's just cardio-based exercises that are, and also have endurance and some toning. It's all body weight only. We don't use any weights or any materials, so it's pretty easy for everybody to be able to join. Also, we have HIIT at 8 o'clock on Thursday mornings. And that's basically the same, just come in for cardio and getting a good workout. With those, you can access both of those classes via our website as well. You just scroll down and they are put on through Teams, Microsoft Teams. And then lastly, Campus Rec is also doing a Roadrunner Rally Challenge this semester. So for our fitness fans, if you are still in, we are still taking registration for that, and you can join in anytime to win some prizes. All you have to do is do the weekly challenge once or twice or however long you want to, and then join the fitness classes as well. So.
Absolutely. I can attest that Chastity's classes are great. Even though there are no weights involved, my glutes and my hamstrings were sore. I did not want to get out of bed. So I'm telling you right now, it's a great class. It's really good. If you think, it's too late or, it's not your time to work out right now, you're wrong. Get up, get active, participate, and feel better. And then Dave, I can talk for you. Dave is our kind of tech guy right now. He's helping us do the live stream. I'll try to plug in as much about esports and video games as possible, but if I say anything incorrect, obviously correct me. We have Tournament Tuesdays for esports. If you love video games, if you enjoy playing specific ones, we have all sorts of types of games that you can come in and play, specifically like Fortnite. I know we've done FIFA a few times. We've done Super Smash Brothers. And a couple of other ones. Please chime in because I'm botching this portion of your area, Dave.
I do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Another part of that. Oh, I was going to say quickly, another part of that tech side is, aren't we uploading your classes, Chastity, to YouTube?
Yes.
So if that time doesn't work for you, check out our YouTube channel. We have classes from the summer on there. We have all of our workout classes going up on there. And so if you can't make the time, it's no excuse. Get active.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Shout out to all of our panelists right now for helping out with this. Shout out for Dave for making sure the stream was going well, hooking us up, putting up images and photos and so forth while we were discussing. We really appreciate everybody tuning in right here. We're going to be doing these every single month, talking about specific topics and things related to campus recreation, to trends and things going on that involve healthy lifestyles and so forth. So stay tuned. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, so forth. It's MSU Denver Rec. That's all it is right there. You can visit our website, msudenverrec.edu, and it's the exact same thing. So really excited. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next month for another conversation of recreation conversations. So y'all have a great day, and we appreciate you tuning into the stream.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.